It's September 27th. It is Navratri, it's the second day. So I wish everybody a happy Navratri. Although it's not maybe one of the best with the things going on in the world. Pray for peace. Om Loka Samasta Sukhino Bhavantu. This is my lingam shrine. This is up in the tower, Necedah Tower. So, I have some commentary. I'll go up to the top while I talk. The reason why I say it's not the best Navratri or the best year is the things we're going through. I guess many people would say, yeah, it's not really that great of a time that we're going through. And that's what I'm going to talk about now. Basically what we're seeing is a historic thing though, which may have, it's like a cloud with its silver lining. The world has been ruled by a group of people that they're their own group. They have their own identity even though they don't reveal that identity to us. They are together and they're organized. But they're falling apart. And so what they're doing right now is they lost the Soviet Union back in the 80s in 1987 because of the Chernobyl explosion. Gorbachev stepped down, and he said that. Of course, I don't think it was really reported in the news why they stepped down, but that's why. Because they went cheap on those power plants. And so the Soviet Union disappeared almost overnight. And I did a study back in the 80s, and the people who set up the Soviet Union were not Russians. The people that set up the Soviet Union were people that were all over the world, mostly in the West, very wealthy bankers. And these people still are in power. Very familiar names like Rockefellers and you know, these people, these families are still around. And these are the same people that are doing the violence that we see today in Ukraine. This is the view from the top. So this war in Ukraine is a real war for survival. These elites started this war like 8 or 10 years ago or more because they know that Russia is not with them anymore. They fell. And people seem to forget that the Berlin Wall fell and the Soviet Union ceased to exist. Not everybody forgot, but a lot of this, the news media, the way it is, it's like, oh, this is the Soviet Union back. No, it isn't. Russia knows the elite exists. They know what they did to them, and they know they're free from them. And they are a threat to the elite. Russia is. And I'm not saying Russia's terribly virtuous or anything like that, but they're a heck of a lot better than the elite. They're not under the elite. And neither is Trump, and neither is Modi. And that's what this war is about. They want to weaken Russia. They want to buy time. And they're desperate. The elite are. And these are the people that run the world. This isn't just rich people. This is people that maybe now think they run the world. Sort of do, but they're losing power fast. And that's what this war is about. It's in a way a fake war, but in a way for Russia it's a very real war. The people are waking up, and the elites know it. And they know that when the election comes, here in America, and any elections that are anywhere else, the people they know. They know about the elite. They at least know that they're doing something wrong, and that they shouldn't be voted for. They're going to vote them out. When midterms come, it's our job to vote these people out that are for this war. And they know that they're on a timed game here. And in November, we have to vote for people that are against the war. This is serious. I mean, even if we don't think that we can get hit, a lot of people can that are innocent. And once this goes down, once the elections go down, and we either defund this war or win it, which isn't really, it would be better to defund it than to try to let Russia win it. If we win it, I don't think it's really that great, because it's the elites that started it. And I can't say that it's good for Russia to win, because it would kill too many people. And it may not be winnable even, I don't know. Although they have the equipment maybe, but it would kill so many people. If we could defund it, that would be the best option. And I don't know how it would play out after that, but once the elections are over and we get people in that are against the war, the only thing I can think of is to end the war completely is to impeach the president, which I don't know if it's really possible, but he's the one that got us into this war. And I know a lot of people say, oh, he's anti-Biden. Well, I am. And I'm not necessarily all for Trump, although I am mostly for Trump. He's not our savior, though. I think he did a much better job, and I think he would have never let this war happen. And this is why Trump tried to defund NATO. Looking back, I remember there was a point where he was saying, "You people can pay for your own defense." You know, they're in power. They know what's going on. They knew that this was brewing, because this war in Ukraine was brewing for 14 years. The CIA got in there 14 years ago, and the Donbass is mostly Russian. These little areas that are between Russia and Ukraine are mostly Russians. They're Russian ethnically. And so what the US did and the Western elites is they got Ukraine to split away. They got them under NATO. And of course the Russians in Donbass didn't really want any part of it, and so they started shelling them. So who really started the war? Years and years ago, we started shelling the Donbass, the Russians in the Donbass. So Russia just finally said, okay, we've got to put an end to this. We've got to take care of our own. We would have done it if somebody did it to, let's say, Puerto Rico. So it's an unjust war. And the media are owned by the elite. We have to remember that. And Kennedy said this, and I've posted this many times, his speech. He talks about the media, the news media, the fake news, which Trump calls it. They're lying to us because they're owned by the elite. The elite is desperate. They got to do something to save themselves from completely falling. So we got to vote to end the war. That's what we have to do. Whoever's against the Ukraine war, and also these other wars, there's even more people dying in other wars in Africa and stuff. They don't even talk about them because they're just cannon fodder to them. But Ukraine is it's between a superpower and it's in an important area. Whereas in Africa, maybe it's not quite as important, although it's important enough to kill a lot of people with or whatever. But, elections are coming, and they know it. And now they're threatening nuclear war. And, of course, Russia's going to defend their country, their own people. I mean, if somebody attacked Florida or Puerto Rico, maybe we would do the same. Because they can't just keep letting these people push them around. They finally got free of the elite back in the late 80s, and now the elite is after them. That's what this is. And the same story is going in a lot of other places where the elite is getting involved and they're stirring up stuff, trying to divide and conquer. And people are starting to wake up. Look how many people voted for Trump. He's not with the elite. I've tried to see if I could find anything that he belonged to that was with the elite. He's not. He's just a businessman. He's one of us. He's not perfect. He's not God any more than the rest of us are. But it sounds to me like probably if he wants to be in politics again, that we will end up voting for him, because that's all we got right now. In the future we will get better, you know, people running. But this is what we get. It's the best we have right now. We are living in a period, a 1 in 10,000 year period, the fall of an empire that's been here for thousands and thousands of years is literally falling before our eyes. And of course they own the media, so they're hiding it. And so this is the story. This is what's going on. It's a much bigger story than people think. And I'm telling it, you know, with this, on this video that will get only a few views probably. They're banning people that are speaking out on Facebook and YouTube. What they do is they cut their funding. They don't actually take them off. They just make it so they can't make money through advertising. And that's how they make their money, is through advertising. They say, well, you can put it on and you can let as many people watch it as you want. We're not going to put any advertising on your thing. We're going to withdraw it, even if a lot of people are watching it. So they're doing things like that. They're doing whatever they can to keep the word out. So I'm just a small time, it's not going to really, I mean they could cut me off completely, but I'm no threat to them. But this is what I have to say. This is what I've got to say. This is what I believe. I'll just briefly show you what I talk about the view up here now and close. This is Necedah Bluff. Some of the rocks from the walls of the tower have rock from this bluff. This bluff is west of my tower. There's an ethanol plant over there. And this is south here. And then I'm starting to go southeast. And then there's Friendship Mound over here. And Rocha Creek State Park is right next to it, the little bluff. So that's my house. So if you got this